What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with my Amir Luis Collazo prediction. Very hard fight for me to call. I truly think this is a 50-50 fight. I will make a pick for the sake of my prediction video. And I'm going with Luis Collazo via a late stoppage, possibly even a decision. And by late, I mean rounds 9 through 11, somewhere around there. And the reason I'm choosing Luis Collazo is a couple reasons. One of the biggest reasons is I'm not 100% sold on Amir Khan's chin. He's blaming it on having to cut weight, which could hurt your chin. But even when he was looking comfortable at the weight, like he did in Bradis Prescott fight, he still got leveled. So I don't know if he's able to take a punch. Straight up. There's no other way to put it. I'm not confident. I'm not sold that he has an iron chin at any weight. And you can't make a chin. You know what I mean? You can't train your chin. People will leave me comments and like, oh, he's training his neck. He has neck muscles. Doesn't matter. You cannot train your chin. Straight up. Like, you can't take speed, power, and chin. Those are things you could do little drills and stuff to increase your speed or to work on your speed or do things to, like if you throw a punch the right way, it'll maximize your power, but it's still your God-given power. But throwing your punches correctly is going to allow you to maximize the power. So whatever you're working with on the power scale, so on a scale of 0 to 10, if your power is a 4, your power is still going to be a 4. It's just going to be more apparent than if you threw a punch incorrectly, if that makes any sense. For example, speed, power, and chin. Here's an example of how you really can't train those things, so to speak. You can, again, do drills. You can do things to improve aspects of them, but ultimately you're kind of stuck with what you're stuck with. It's like having a big dick or a small dick. You know what I'm saying? If you got a little dick, you kind of got a little dick. You got to eat a bitch out, and it is what it is. You're stuck with what you're stuck with. And speed, power, and chin are no different. So an example would be, you can't take a guy like Mike Tyson who had speed, he definitely had fucking power, and he had a chin at heavyweight. You can't take another person who is at heavyweight, like a Steve Cunningham, and whatever training regimen or workouts you provide him with, you're not going to make Steve Cunningham as fast as Tyson. You're not going to make him have Tyson's chin. You're not going to give him Tyson's power. And again, you can do all the drills in the fucking world. It's not going to matter. Like if you look at Timothy Bradley, it looks like he knows how to work out. He stays in shape. He's shredded. But Pacquiao hits harder. Most of the opponents, the high-profile opponents that Timothy Bradley fought, Ruslan's and stuff, they hit harder. And again, you look at guys like Ruslan Provodnikov, and it doesn't look like he would have power. His shape, his body is nothing impressive. You look at guys like Pacquiao. I've seen Pacquiao look shredded. Timothy Bradley, Mayweather, Canelo. I've seen those guys in good shape. You look at guys like John Molina, the one that just fought Lucas Matisse. Look at Lucas Matisse and look at Ruslan Provodnikov. They're known for monstrous power, and it doesn't even look like it based on their physique. If you were to just see him in the mall in a t-shirt, you wouldn't be like, damn, this dude will fucking knock my lights out. You know what I'm saying? So that's just a little example. And ultimately, I'm not confident in Khan's chin. I think that's going to be his undoing. And he's too prideful. I think Khan doesn't know when to fight a smarter fight. Now, I could be completely wrong. This is how I could be completely wrong. If Khan goes in there and he's smart and aggressive and doesn't take too many risks but still keeps Luis Collazo on the end of his punches, he can outbox the shit out of Luis Collazo, because Luis Collazo is much smaller, or not much smaller, but much slower, and I just don't think he'll be able to keep up. And people don't realize that's constant leather hitting your face just in the rapid succession. Amir Khan is not afraid, or at least in the past, he hasn't been afraid to let his hands go. So, to me, if Luis Collazo fights the wrong fight, then there's no way he'll win. If he fights a fight where he doesn't maximize his strengths, then it's a done. He's going to be dead in the water, and Amir Khan's going to look spectacular. So that's why this is an interesting fight, because it really could go both ways, and I see it going both ways. Just I'm not sold on Amir Khan's chin, and this is a tough fight for welterweight. For your first fight at welterweight, Luis Collazo is very probably underestimated. He's a hard guy to kind of gauge, if you will. His performance against Shane Mosley wasn't remarkable. Then you put him against Ricky Hatton, Andre Berto. He looked good. Then he disappeared for a fucking while after those losses. Came back. A lot of people thought he was going to get smoked by Victor Ortiz. Stops him in 2 rounds. So you could say, oh, it's because he's a quitter. But who made him quit? You know what I'm saying? Like, Victor Ortiz didn't just bow out gracefully and just lie down. Like, I mean, Collazo was the one that was like catching him with shots, and he just kept narrowing that gap and getting closer and closer, finding his range, and then the rest was history. So Collazo, he's kind of a hard guy to gauge, and like I said, I'm not saying this because I know Collazo. I've done interviews with him and stuff. He's a homie. I'm not saying that for this. I'll give you my real opinion. If I thought he was going to get demolished, I'll tell you that. I just see him. He's hard to. You don't know what he's going to look like when he shows up, but especially since he's been gone prior to the Victor Ortiz fight, you don't have a lot of recent fights where you can look at Amir Khan or at Luis Collazo. Another thing is Amir Khan, he delayed his career waiting for Mayweather and waiting for that payday. So that was a pretty long layoff to come into a new weight division and take on a tough, durable guy like Luis Collazo. So again, this fight can go both ways. If Luis Collazo fights a dumb fight and stays on the end of Amir Khan's punches and allows Amir Khan to just circle him and outbox him, then he doesn't really have a chance. What he has to do is he has to make it uncomfortable, kind of make it a dog fight, get in close. One thing that Lamont Peterson showed me, I don't know about y'all, but he definitely showed me, Amir Khan does not have an inside fight game. He doesn't like being crowded. He doesn't know what to do when crowded. He was just pushing off with his elbows. That's why he got the 2 points. 2 points was a little bit much, but still, he does not like that. He does not like when you're all up in his shit and you're encroaching and you get that close. He much rather prefer that in and out ambush style, like da, and you can't get close. And every time you get close, he just keeps tagging you. Amir Khan has that kind of Oscar De La Hoya frame where he's like long and lanky and tall for his weight division. So that comes to his advantage. So Luis Collazo, again, that's constant leather, and speed brings power. I don't know what Amir Khan's power is going to look like at welterweight, but he had decent pop. Like, he had decent pop at 140. So maybe this will make him feel a little bit stronger, not having to cut so much weight, and we'll see. So Luis Collazo has to really fight a good fight, but I see him winning probably by late stoppage, if not a decision. And that's kind of just how I see it. I just wouldn't rely on Amir Khan's chin. It's just, no matter what you can say. Another thing I noticed too, another reason why I'm leaning towards Luis Collazo, is because I feel, this is just my opinion, I feel Amir Khan is actually at his best. It's like a gift and a curse. I feel he's at his best when he's fighting how Freddie Roach had him fighting. The only downside is he's had to scale it back with Virgil Hunter. But the only downside is this. The downside is that's a dangerous style of fighting because we don't know how reliable his chin is. So it's more successful when it's working, like when you're fighting the Zab Judah and you're having your way. But it's not successful when you're fighting a Danny Garcia and you get caught with something. But the way Virgil Hunter has him fighting a measured, more calculated, safer fight, I just don't see him being that fluid defensively. He's not like a Rigondeaux or Mayweather with the defense to the point where he's like, I wouldn't even say a Timothy Bradley when it comes to the defense. So he doesn't look the same to me since he's been with Virgil Hunter. People were like, oh, Carlos Molina, he tore him up. But Carlos Molina was still catching him with shots. The only difference is Carlos Molina is a 135-pounder who moved up to 140 pounds. He didn't have pop at 135. He couldn't crack at 135. So, yeah, him moving up another 5 pounds, what'd you expect? Of course, Amir Khan's going to deal with his shots better. But when you put Amir Khan in there with somebody who has decent power, and I would say Luis Collazo is that guy with decent power, even a Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz is not gonna. I mean, quitter or no quitter, him blocking me or not blocking me, I don't think Victor Ortiz, if you put him in there with like just a D minus fighter, I don't think he's gonna quit. You know what I'm saying? You have to put them in front of someone with moderate skills at the very least. You know what I mean? Like someone who's just, they have decent power, respectable power, and I think that's what Luis Collazo has. But again, with Virgil Hunter, I see Amir Khan. I don't think he's as effective. Point blank. I think he's at his best when he's fighting that reckless, like swing for the fences. But the only problem is when someone catches him, then they catch him, and then it might be murder she wrote. And that's part of the allure and the excitement for an Amir Khan fight. So I'm rocking with Luis Collazo. Could be good. And like I said, I could be totally wrong. I'm just looking forward to a good fight, see what both fighters bring. As far as in shape, Amir Khan looked like he was in great shape for 147, so he could come out there, make a statement. He didn't get the Mayweather fight. I don't think stagnating his career was a good look, but he could come out there and just look real impressive and real explosive and kind of steal the show and have a dominant performance. But when you have like a known deficiency, it's like the Target logo. You got that bullseye on your back. You know what I mean? People look for that. Like if people have had success like timing you or hitting you with the left hook, then that's what they're going to practice in the gym. When there's known flaws in your game plan, like there is Amir Khan, I think it makes it easier to come up with that blueprint. I hate saying that because everyone says it's blueprint shit, but it makes it easier to come up with the game plan because we've seen Luis Collazo, or not Luis Collazo, we've seen Amir Khan hurt. The left hook has done it. We've seen him not look at his best when he's fighting on the inside, different things like that. So I think for Luis Collazo and his team, it's going to be easy to come up with a game plan. Now, if he can pull it off, that's what remains to be seen. Will he be able to pull off that game plan? Because again, Amir Khan looked like he was in great shape. He's a long fighter. He has long arms, and he has that speed. And he might even look more powerful and a little bit more durable at 147, not having to cut so much weight. So it could get interesting. 50-50 fight. I'm rocking with Luis Collazo. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.